Teofimo the Takeover Lopez does it again. He insults Terence Bud Crawford. Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Teofimo Lopez Jr. were shooting a video about them training, and Teofimo Lopez Sr. was talking mad-ish about Terence Crawford, calling him a B-word. He also says that they have 10 years over Terence Crawford, as Terence Crawford became undisputed at the age of 35 and Teofimo Lopez became undisputed at the age 25. He also says that Terence Crawford has no legs and the Canelo Alvarez fight will be his last, as I do agree with that. Most of the boxing world knows that Terence Crawford is gonna cash out with the Canelo fight, as Crawford is gonna get a guaranteed of $50 million. And if you guys think a guaranteed of $50 million is a lot, just check out Canelo's payday. He's getting paid $70 million. That's $20 more million than Terence Crawford. But when Teofimo Lopez Jr. actually shot the video, he called Terence Crawford a ninja. He says, "Where's this ninja at? Where is this ninja at?" Now, this is not the first time Teofimo Lopez Jr. has said something like this. Back in the day, he was asked who is he willing to fight first, Terence Crawford or Gervonta Tank Davis, the self-proclaimed face of boxing. And Teofimo Lopez says, whichever monkey wants to get the banana first. Now, he tried to clean it up by stating that Tank Davis and Crawford called themselves gorillas. And I do get the Tank Davis part because he does call himself a gorilla. And not just that, Mooney Brown calls him that killer, that gorilla from Baltimore. And I have never ever heard anybody call Terence Crawford a monkey or a gorilla, or I have never heard Terence Crawford call himself a monkey or a gorilla, because Teofimo Lopez has been calling out Terence Crawford for a very long time, and it seems that Terence Crawford does not want to fight Teofimo Lopez. And not just that, one time Terence Crawford actually pressed Teofimo Lopez. Not only did he press him, he put his hands around him and he says, "Why were you saying all those bad stuff about me?" And I'm not even gonna lie, I am a huge Teofimo Lopez fan, and to me it did seem that Teo tucked his tail. He said he was saying all that stuff just for promotion, and even Terence Crawford and Teofimo Lopez said, "See y'all, boxing world, everybody is just saying it was just for promotion." Now Terence Crawford doesn't have to kick Teofimo Lopez's butt. So fast forward to today, you would think Teofimo Lopez learned that he cannot really say those words, but he does it again, just like Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. And in the video that Teofimo Lopez Sr. and Teofimo Lopez Jr. shot, he actually says, "Where's Terence Crawford? Where is that ninja at? Where is that ninja at?" And before even Teofimo Lopez came out and said what he really said, I actually replayed that video a lot of times. I lowered and raised the volume up, and I really heard ninja. I did not make out any liquor because the L and the N are totally different sounds, and you will be able to notice the difference. I am pretty sure Teofimo Lopez got a lot of backlash about this, and he came to apologize on a separate video. He tried to say that he said liquor, not ninja. Now to me, I am not a racist person, but I already hear the usual suspects that already put their own race before they do boxing. I already hear them, "Oh, come on, great brother, don't give this guy a shot, don't get this guy paid." I'm starting to wonder if you guys are really boxing fans, because you guys are in the wrong niche. You guys should start another YouTube channel like an all black people movement, because this ain't no pussy channel. This is the boxing world. This is the hurt game. Imagine Terence Crawford 40 years from now. He's gonna say, "Man, I'm glad I didn't fight Teofimo Lopez. I'm glad I did not get him paid, but at the same time, you guys robbed us from a great fight." So I actually started to think that all the black community in boxing were in the same page. They were not trying to fight Teofimo Lopez for his racist slurs. But oh boy, I was wrong. Guess who actually stepped to the page, and he did it immediately, and that is Keyshawn Businessman Davis. And I was never really a Keyshawn Davis fan, but I am now for having balls to fight Teofimo Lopez. Not only does everybody avoid Teofimo Lopez, look at Devin Haney. He was supposed to have a meeting with Top Rank and Bob Arum and Teofimo Lopez and Teofimo Lopez Sr. to make a fight happen. But guess what happened? The Haneys actually tucked their tail and avoided the meeting. Now Teofimo Lopez has been calling out Boots Ennis, Terence Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis, the self-proclaimed face of boxing. And no one ever answered the call. No one ever tried to negotiate with Teofimo Lopez, except for today, Keyshawn Businessman Davis. So I became a Keyshawn Davis fan today because of the way he moved. He actually called out Teofimo Lopez. He called Turkey al-Sheikh, and he said to make this fight happen next. And that is very brave of Keyshawn Davis, because I actually have Teofimo Lopez whooping that boy's ass. Now, I see Keyshawn Davis as a really good fighter, but I don't think he is on the great level yet, and I don't think he's ever going to be special. I mean, he is a really good fighter. I just see too many holes in his game plan and his defense. He might be able to compete with Teofimo Lopez, but as of right now, I don't think so. Teofimo Lopez is way too seasoned for Keyshawn Davis at this moment. But on Keyshawn Davis' defense, I know he is still young and he is still growing, and he's still going to get better every time he moves up in weight. And he is a big 135 pounder. And I am talking as of right now, but it does seem that Keyshawn Davis is making a name for himself, and he is getting his resume a lot better. Now, I know Keyshawn Davis stepped up to the plate and he is trying to fight Teofimo Lopez, but why doesn't he want to fight Shakur Stevenson? If Shakur Stevenson had 100% healed hands, I believe he stops Keyshawn Davis. But here is a fun fact. Shakur Stevenson's hands are not healed, and I personally believe they're never gonna be healed, because as we all know, he did state that he wants to call Floyd Mayweather to prolong his career, because as we all know, Floyd Mayweather suffered from hand injuries, and Shakur Stevenson already tried to fix his hands, and he already had surgery, but he had negative results. So he wants to know what Floyd Mayweather did with his hands to keep them healthy, because he did state to prolong his career, he needs to reach out to Floyd Mayweather, and if he doesn't, that means he knows his hands are not getting better. Why would he make that statement? So I believe Shakur Stevenson knows that his career is on borrowed time, and it could end at any minute if he breaks his hands. And Shakur is already showing signs about that, because every time he fights, he does not throw many punches. Him and Edwin de los Santos actually broke the record for the most boring fight and the most punches and the least punches thrown in a boxing fight. That's why I believe Shakur Stevenson is anal about getting paid in every single fight that he wants, because he was offered a number to fight Cepeda, but then he refused to fight Cepeda because Turkey al-Sheikh lowered down his number. Because I am pretty sure Shakur Stevenson knows that any type of fight could actually end his career. But this is for every boxer, because nobody knows how they're gonna come out when they finish the fight. But I swear, man, if Shakur Stevenson's hands were 100% healed, I believe he beats everybody. But to me, nobody moves like Teofimo Lopez and David Benavidez. Those are my two favorite fighters, and I could care less about any other fighters. No disrespect, but the Takeover and the Mexican Monster are just throwback fighters. They'll fight any height, any age, any style. They do not care. They just want to scrap. And I'm pretty sure you guys wish you guys could talk good about your guys' favorite fighters. Maybe you guys can talk good, but you guys cannot compare resumes to David Benavidez and Teofimo Lopez. But that's all, folks. Don't forget, I'm not the biggest, I'm the baddest. And if you want to hop on your boy, throw $1 at the super thanks. I got a roll. Peace.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!